Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 live on Channels Television. A quick reminder of our top stories now. INEC National Commissioner Amina Thuggery opens up on PDP's allegations of family ties with President Muhammadu Buhari, says she is no relation of the president, as PDP insists her impartiality is called to question. Festive season over, political parties hit the campaign trail to woo voters ahead of the forthcoming general elections. Fire raises Godrej factory warehouse in Lagos as victims of the market inferno in Minna, Niger State count their losses. And yellow vest protesters return to the streets of Paris, insist on the resignation of President Emmanuel Macron as demonstrations goes violent again. ChannelsTV.com has more information for you, and on YouTube.com/ChannelsWeb you can watch our videos. You can also watch us on your mobile device via your browser or download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows devices from their respective stores. Besides giving you access to news and updates on the go, the Channels TV and Channels 24 app have an Eyewitness feature that you can use to share those pictures, videos or news of happenings around you. Just install the app, then tap and swipe to reveal the menu and follow the instructions. Now to the pictures you sent to our Eyewitness portal. First is this photo. It shows some people trying to collect their permanent voter cards. We have those pictures coming through. That's it. At the INEC office in Kuje area of the Federal Capital Territory in Abuja. Our Eyewitness reporter is asking the electoral body to adopt other mechanisms that will help improve card distribution to the electorate. Next picture is from Onitsha in Anambra State. Our Eyewitness reporter is worried about how this truck driver resorted to overloading his vehicle. He wants traffic officers in the state to stop such vehicles from moving. Still on the road, this time around in Lagos State, our Eyewitness reporter wonders why a driver would move around the city in a car with 3 tires. He wants the government agents to charge traffic offenders, such as this one, to court. Finally, is this photo from Molete High School in Ibadan, Oyo State, where students are seen writing on the floor outside without tables or chairs. Our Eyewitness reporter wants the State Ministry of Education to do something fast about the present state of facilities in the school. We do sincerely thank you for sending in these pictures, as we ask that you keep them coming. The Rivers State Governor, Nyesom Wike, has promised to ensure that all ongoing projects in the state are completed as scheduled, downplaying the need for open and vigorous campaign for the elections. The governor explained this during the inspection of some projects in their finishing stages that are expected to be delivered in January. According to him, the people will decide what happens at the polls, while he focuses on fulfilling his promises as a government to the people.
All projects that we have started, that we know that will touch the lives of the common man, that we'll focus on it vigorously, pursue it so that the people can have their daily living. You know that this market, fruit garden market, is very important. It's the only fruit garden market we have in the state. And when it got burnt, we made a promise that by the grace of God, January latest, that they must come back. And so for us, there's nothing like campaign. Our own campaign is to fulfill the promises you have made to the people. That's our own campaign.
We went to judges' quarters. It's amazing. We went to the Mawarmu market. It's amazing. And look at the kind of work they are doing here. You think it's Jordan standard. Look at the concrete. I mean, it's amazing. I'm really, really satisfied with the money we are spending. It's money well spent. Just for them to continue to support the workers and not to give them problems. You can see how enthusiastic they are, how happy they are. They know that we are not those who make promise and not to fulfill the promise.
Over 84 million Nigerians are expected to vote in the 2019 general elections, starting with the presidential and National Assembly elections on February the 16th. But violence and conflict in the country's 6 geopolitical zones pose a major threat to the process. This next report is analyzing the main security threats in the country and its implications for the election.
The Boko Haram insurgency began in 2009 but it posed a significant threat to the 2015 general election, as the sect occupied 11 local government areas, which covered about 20,000 square miles of Nigeria's territory. However, a counter-offensive operation weakened the group, thus giving room for the conduct of elections in the northeast. In recent months, the sect has conducted more attacks, especially on military bases, killing soldiers and seizing weapons. According to the December report of the UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, more than 7 million people in northeast Nigeria require humanitarian assistance and protection, including 1.8 million internally displaced persons. In the nation's north-central, the conflicts between farmers and herders have claimed over 3,000 deaths since 2016, and that's according to Amnesty International. The rights body claims that of the 310 attacks recorded between January 2016 and October 2018, 57% were in 2018. Although some of the displaced persons have started returning home, a recent survey from the Afrobarometer states that 71% of Nigerians are concerned about the conflicts.
The election will also take place against the backdrop of insecurity, with violence in the Northeast and Middle Belt and threats from non-state actors that could impact negatively the electoral process.
A recent spate of armed banditry in Nigeria's northwest has seen communities raised and a rise in kidnapping and rape. On July 31, 2018, Amnesty International reported at least 371 deaths and 18,000 displaced persons in Zamfara state. The government has responded by deploying troops to the area.
It might be true that we still have some challenges in the policing space as a result of the criminal elements adopting new methods to beat our strategies. The good news, however, is that as they are changing their modus operandi, we are equally changing our strategies to defeat them in the fight.
The Southeast region has been battling with the activities of the indigenous people of Biafra. The group had threatened to disrupt the Anambra governorship election in November 2017, but did not succeed. This time, the group has renewed calls for supporters to boycott the 2019 general elections, although the region has had a history of low turnout of voters. In 2015, only 39% of registered voters in the area participated in the process. Political thuggery and cultism feature prominently across the 6 geopolitical zones at times like this, including the southwest and south-south regions. This is one area that the police has vowed to take action. Cutting across these challenges is the role of the security operatives in ensuring a free and fair election. Their conduct has been called to question, following observations from the governorship elections in Osun and Ekiti states.
Learning from the cumulative experience of the off-season elections conducted into 195 constituencies since the 2015 general election, the conduct of some of the security personnel has become a major issue of discussion, and I must also say that a major source of concern to the Commission.
The Independent National Electoral Commission is inventing ways to checkmate any security breach by adopting citizen engagement mechanism in the electoral process.
If you go to the INEC website or you go to Google Play, you can download an INEC iReporter, which is something that INEC has spent a lot of money in developing, which allows every Nigerian to be an observer and a reporter of events as they happen. This you can download freely and have it on your smartphone. So you can take still pictures. You can also take a short video and send it to us. It is geo-reference. We know exactly where that issue is taking place, and we can easily draw the attention of police and security agencies to make sure that that matter is actually addressed.
Security remains a key part of the conduct of a credible election, and Nigerians will be hoping that the process will be void of violence in 2019.
The presidential candidate of the Social Democratic Party, the SDP, Professor Jerry Gana, says that his administration will focus on devolution of powers if elected into office. According to him, this will address the challenges of poverty and overdependence on federal allocations. He was speaking at a meeting in Abuja where he restated his party's commitment towards the attainment of socio-economic development through grassroots mobilization.
restructure, there must be restructuring. Because as of now, many of these functions are too concentrated in the center. In a good federal system, the federating units have excellent purposes to perform, basic functions to perform. In Nigeria, most of the federating units, like the states, are always waiting to take resources from the federal government. That is not a federal structure. In a good federal structure, the federating units might be strong on their own, raising resources on their own, paying salaries on their own. And believe you me, every state of the Federal Republic, we have enough resources for them to generate and create wealth. We don't have to be waiting for the federal government. The federal government, therefore, there must be devolution of powers and functions to the federating units so that our people can be looked after in education, in health, in housing, in primary school, in all these primary things that affect the daily lives of people.
While political campaigns continue, the Christian Association of Nigeria has declared January the 10th a national day of prayers for peaceful, free, fair and credible elections in the country. The National Christian Group has directed all churches across the country to observe prayers between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. against violence, manipulation, intimidation of voters and other electoral crimes. They will also set aside time to pray for the freedom of Leah Sharibu and others in Boko Haram captivity. A statement from the media aide of the CAN president, Pastor Bayo Oladeji, says that Christian politicians, especially those contesting for offices during the elections, all Christian groups, organizations, and all stakeholders are encouraged to participate in the program. CAN is also asking all Christian groups, denominations, churches, and bloc leaders to assemble at the National Christian Center, Abuja, on January the 10th for the important prayer meeting. It further asked them to pray for violence-free elections and that God should stop all groups behind the killings in Nigeria and their financiers. Part of Godrej Nigeria Limited, the company located on the Oba Akran Road in Ikeja, Lagos, has been gutted by fire. Eyewitnesses said that the fire started at the driver's unit of the factory where women's hair extensions and cosmetics are manufactured. The cause of the fire is yet to be determined though, but firefighters from the Lagos State Fire Service and officials of the State Emergency Management Agency, LASEMA, are still battling to put out the blaze. It was gathered that the emergency workers are finding it difficult to access some areas in the factory which are said to have been seriously affected by the fire.
We've tried our best first to ensure it does not spread beyond the factory here, and also to ensure that as much as we can, we save the remaining products as well as adjoining buildings. So far, we have succeeded in limiting it to a particular factory. As you can see, our men are still busy. We have also called for support. The first people who saw it were the workers, and you do not expect them to keep quiet or just run away and not make any fight. What they have done is the initial thing people should do when to want to save their property. And we've got support of the owners of this factory for now. They've supported us and they've provided everything, including security, to ensure that you don't have too much crowd here, and then we finish this work as quickly as we can.
When the news at 10 returns, Nigeria's foreign reserves records highest opening in 6 years, rise to $43 billion as 2019 begins. That's some business news. Join us again.